Okay, hello. It's Tuesday. I am so glad to see all of you all here. And we have a special guest with us, Theresa. Theresa and I, let me just see if I can change the view here just a little bit. Theresa and I met, I don't know, over the last 2 years or so, both in the same coaching community. And, we connected right away because seeing that we were both in full-time ministry just kind of created a fun connection for us. So, Theresa, I would like for you to just tell us what Plexus has meant for you, when you decided to get started, and tell us where you live. Um, yeah, we want to hear your story. I'll share a little bit about my story and a little bit about our products, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, we'll have it wrapped up and have you out of here in about 20 to 25 minutes. Go ahead, Theresa.
All right. Well, thank you, Jody, for just inviting me to come on and share with your team. That's just a sweet blessing, and I'm really glad to come on and do that for you. So yes, my name is Theresa Gerwig, and just a little background on me. I was born and raised in South Dakota. So I'm totally a prairie girl here. Like, I'm not typically a mountain girl, or like I've been totally planted to the mountains of Alaska after growing up in South Dakota. And my family, I've always been in ministry because my dad is a pastor and has been for over 40 years. And so growing up as a pastor's kid, and then after I was through high school, then I went to a Bible college or a Bible school in Wyoming. And that is where I met my husband, Joe. And so both Joe and I, we majored in the missions emphasis at the Bible school that we were a part of. And and so then our second year of being there, then we started dating. And it's been a wild ride because it's just moving to Alaska was never ever anything that I really imagined for myself in my life, or even being in full-time ministry after leaving my parents' home. Like, God had to do a lot of work in my heart before I was willing to say yes to following the Lord in missions, in ministry. And so now my husband actually born and raised 15 miles from where we live now. So he was born here in Alaska, and when he was 15 years old, he got the bug to start flying airplanes. And God used that desire in his heart to just point his heart towards missions and how airplanes can be a tool, an amazing tool for getting the gospel to the ends of the earth. And so now we serve full time with a ministry that trains pilots for the missions field. So we train people that go to other parts in Russia and all sorts of places like that. And my husband is the assistant director of our ministry here. And then eventually he will be the director. And currently our director is 80 years old. So whenever Dwayne decides that he's done leading, then Joe will step into that spot. Looks like the sun just popped over the mountains. So now you get to see the sun shining on my face. So when I was 21 and Joe and I had just gotten married, we were 7 months into marriage. Don't push the button. No. There were other things that I was needing to get my health fixed on, but at the root of all of it was that we were being faced with infertility. And it was just something that I realized, like, I have to work on my health. I have to invest in my health. And I'm going to scoot if I can, otherwise the sun is just glaring on me. Oh, well, that's okay. So I was realizing that I really needed to work on my health and invest in my health. And that, to me, it was a stretch for me because financially we had just gotten married. We were in our first year of marriage. And during that time, Joe was in airplane mechanic schooling. And it was our complete goal to stay out of debt, and which we did, but it was definitely like just trusting the Lord to provide for us. And it was during that first year of marriage that God put this Plexus thing into my lap, and what a gift it has been. So I started for the products and just knowing that I needed to work on my health. But as soon as I realized that there was an income opportunity, like I grabbed a hold of it and I watched the compensation plan. I think it was one of Sonia Dudley's compensation plan videos, and I watched it over and over and over again until I had it figured out. And my belief was so strong that I could get to the top of the company and be able to use this as a resource for God to provide for us financially. And yeah, so I started it when I was 21, and now I'm 28. So that gives you an idea for how many years Plexus has been a part of our lives. And God blessed us after 4 years of infertility with our journey girl. And she is just a complete blessing to us. And so I've continued to grow my business in the little nooks and crannies of wife life and mom life and ministry life. And I love homemaking and just like all of the little things that have to do with making my home a sweet place for my family. And I love making things from scratch. And so like Plexus has helped provide the little tools in our life for like my Bosch mixer. Like I love my Bosch mixer, and the Plexus income helped pay for that. And then Plexus has also helped pay for trips home to South Dakota to see my family. And it's helped us to be able to just like not feel so financially pinched, because we are on full-time mission support. We have our mission supporters from the lower, most of them, well, a lot of them are in the lower 48. We do have some here in Alaska too, but churches in between Wyoming and Pennsylvania. And so, yeah, so God has just used people to provide for us, whether that's our supporters or my Plexus team. And it's just been a huge blessing. And I love the Plexus products. And I would say that the Triplex is probably my favorite. Like I don't go a day without those, because they have just helped my health so much, and they've helped my hormones in huge ways. Like, yes, we are still going through infertility stuff, but I feel so much better just having the balanced, stabilized blood sugars, and even just energy to keep up with our crazy life of being in ministry and being a mom. And yeah, so that's kind of just a small glimpse into our life. I'm a senior Ruby ambassador, which is one rank away from the Emerald goal of, and that's when you start earning your 3 trips to Hawaii or Mexico, and then you get your car. So that's a huge blessing. The average income that a senior Ruby makes is $3,000 a month, and it's a huge blessing for our family. And so I would just encourage you guys to just dig in and start learning how you can use this to provide for your family, or learning how you can use this to provide for others. One of our favorite things to do is we love to pay for Bible school students tuition for their Bible schools, or just to help pay for their Bible school. And that is one of our favorite things. And it's a gift to be able to use our Plexus income for that. So yeah, I'm one of those that I love to learn. And thankfully that has just been a part of ever since I started Plexus. Like I pop in a YouTube, whether it's a training from Brooke Hemingway, or whether it's from Megan Goff or Emily Burgess or Jennifer Leith. Like I am continually learning, because I have to, and another one of my favorites right now is Brittany Howard, because I have to continually learn to keep on growing my skill set and my just my belief in sharing and learning about the products. And I love product knowledge too. And so I'm just passionate about it all, just through the products and the compensation plan, and what a gift it is. So I don't know if any of you have any questions, but I'm totally up for questions if anybody has anything they want to ask me.
I love that. Thank you, Theresa. You guys take advantage of this. What questions do you have for Theresa? Feel free to unmute and ask.
You can even type it out.
Yeah, you can type
But
it
with
in the chat.
unmuting, type it out and put it in the comments, and then we can try to read the comments.
So I have a question. In her whole journey from base 1, silver, on up, so you were in the mission the whole time, right?
Yep.
What would you say is the biggest thing that stood in front of you? Like the biggest thing that you had to work through? Because you literally had to spend the money before you had it at one point, right?
Right. Yes. So so we started when we were in Fairbanks, which is when Joe was in airplane mechanic schooling. And during that time, we knew we were headed towards our ministry, but we had not come on full time with our ministry yet. And so, so I started, it was like December 31st that I enrolled, and then got my products in January, and then started sharing the end of January. And by the end of February, I had my first 3 people. So then that gave me my silver bonus. And that was a huge, just boost to me. And ever since then, I continue to share. I developed a team page, which I feel like is very important. Just for if you're trying to reach goals, you have to have your team in the know. They have to know what they can help you with. And so I made my team page, and then I also made a potentials page that I call is the nutrition plus opportunity page. And so that was another private page that people, sometimes I ask people oh, do you want to be added to that page? And sometimes a lot of my posts, I just drop it in the link of my post or in the little comments box, and then they'll ask to be a part of that group. And so those tools were really, I have totally utilized Facebook groups in that way, just with growing my team and growing the belief of my team, and just enabling them to keep on growing. So, and then probably the biggest obstacle for me definitely was finances, because so often I'm a missionary. I can't have extra money. That has totally been an obstacle for me that I have had to overcome. And I have listened to some of Jessica Heffley's videos in that. And then also Brittany Howard has some great videos about how it's okay. Christians, believers can have finances too, because it's a great tool. Money is just money, and it's a great tool for people to use it for the glory of God and for ministry, because for us, we're a part of this mission aviation organization, and to fly an airplane is crazy expensive. We go and we do this Bible camp every summer above the Arctic Circle, and we put it on for our students, and we put it on for the native kids above the Arctic Circle from 3 or 4 different villages. You need to put it down, Kate. And then we use our students as the staff for this Bible camp. And so even just to put on this Bible camp, it costs, and it's free to the kids. We have about 70 kids that come from the villages, and it's completely, you need to scoot that over, okay? It's completely free to them. And so it takes finances to be able to do great things. And so just seeing that and getting over some of those fears has been huge for me. So, I don't know. Does that answer your question? Mm-hmm. And I can send Jody, some of my videos that I've watched, like Brittany Howard's videos on just getting over that. And she can share those with you if that would be helpful.
That'd be awesome. I love all the people that you mentioned. I have watched something from all of them, and seriously, that is one of the things that built my belief so much, was just, when you're new at something, you're new at it, right? That's normal. You don't know the things that somebody else that has been in the industry or been in the business as long. Doesn't mean that you're not qualified to be a part of it. It just means, you still have lots to learn. And so I just loved hearing you say, you know what, you went out and you searched for videos and you found people to learn from. I remember doing that so much myself too. I love that. Here's a question. What was the primary way you built your business? Was it through social media or in-person events or some other kind of way?
Totally social media. Like I've hardly had any in-person events. We live an hour from town, out in the mountains. And so I'm not very close to people, like just with where we live. And so even going into town is not a piece of cake. So I've had like maybe 1 or 2 in-person events here at my house, but it's all been through social media. So
wow. And let me guess, there's probably been many a times that you posted and it felt like nobody was watching, and yet somewhere along the way, the customers came, right?
yes, yep. And it's not been like fast, but I've made myself see the long game. Like it's not that, oh yes, I'm going to reach it. Even my next goal, I don't know when that'll be, but I have the long game in mind. And so even if it takes me 10 years to go diamond, that's okay. Because I'm going to continue to do the little things each day, that help move my business forward. So,
and you're in success already. Like what the level of success that you have is sustainable, and you have held quite steady with that for a number of years, which is absolutely incredible. All right. Any other questions for Theresa? Drop them in the chat, I guess, if you do, or unmute really quickly. But I'll keep watching the chat here if you have any more. Theresa mentioned the triplex, and I think really and truly it has been our foundational products that most people really do fall in love with. Is it the only thing we have? No. And isn't our new packaging just so beautiful? I mean, the products are the same. Here in Canada, we still have the old packagings of Slim yet. They're in the process. And just today I was researching just a little bit. I get to be sort of an ingredient. I don't know if it's an ingredient snob, but ingredients just kind of fascinate me from time to time. I'll just literally grab some ingredients and just do some Google searching, like what do these ingredients do? And I just get blown away. So I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about some ingredients from our ProBio. Here in Canada, it's ProBio C8. In the States, it's ProBio 5. Did you know that there is, so one of the things in Plexus is we talk a lot about blood sugar balancing, reducing inflammation, and gut health. And we know that like Slim has things in it that are great for inflammation. We know Ease is great for inflammation. We know Active is great for inflammation, which, by the way, in Canada here this month, if you join with a welcome pack, you get a free bag of Active, which I absolutely love. But did you know that the ProBio also has a number of ingredients in it that are good for inflammation? And if you know what those ingredients are and want to drop them in the chat, go ahead and do that. But I actually was not so aware of it myself. So the first one, or one of them, is tart cherry. Did you know that tart cherry has anti-inflammatory properties? Tart cherry is known as a very powerful antioxidant. Tart cherry is also in Active. It's part of the S7 superfood blend. So tart cherry health benefits, including anti-inflammation, heart health, pain relief, muscle recovery. So ProBio is so much more than just a probiotic. We also know that it has ingredients in it as antifungal, such as grapeseed extract. There's another one too. Oh, chitosanase is a enzyme, I think, that is known to fight fungus. Another enzyme that is in ProBio is serrapeptase. So, and that is also really good for inflammation, decreasing your risk of infections. Serrapeptase is known to help with preventing blood clots, and can also help with respiratory diseases, which I know it can also. I think I had a friend who was taking serrapeptase, particularly for like phlegm stuff that was going on in her throat. So many great things. One other ingredient that we don't talk about very often in ProBio is spirulina. I don't know if you know much about what that is, but it is, again, another antioxidant. And it is known for being a really good liver detoxifier. So you guys, Triplex is our ProBio, the Bio Cleanse, and then one of your packs, one of your choices is Slim. And together, these really are a powerhouse because they're addressing inflammation, they're addressing blood sugar balancing, and they're addressing gut health. And I love the Weed Feed Protect idea that comes with how our Slim and the prebiotics in it feed the good bacteria that's in your gut. The ProBio puts in more good bacteria in your gut, also weeds out the bad bacteria with the antifungals and the enzymes and things like that. And then our BioCleanse, which is a magnesium vitamin C blend, also helps to carry out the junk. So you need to weed your gut garden of the junk. You need to feed it with prebiotics because you've got good guys in there that just need a little bit more food. Weed, feed, seed, protect it. How are you going to protect it? Our X Factor Plus is really good at helping to protect your gut garden, feeding it even more powerful vitamins, allowing your increasing your nutrition absorption. You know, if you are going to take in nutrition, you really want to be able to absorb all that nutrition. The aloe in our X Factor and X Factor Plus is really good to help with that. And let me just say, if you're dealing with any kind of hormonal issues, please get you some X Factor Plus. And I am saying that fresh out of dealing with menopause stuff, you guys, X Factor Plus is so needed. I had been taking X Factor Original for a very, very long time, and I switched to Plus when I started dealing with some chills and hot flashes and insomnia, and figured out that I was sure enough dealing with menopause stuff. And I am so happy to say, like, I am noticing a difference. It took me a while to get consistent with it because it is so important to take with food. And I kept forgetting to take it with food. And so then I just wouldn't get it taken in. But I have learned I can take it right before I go to bed, even if I forget it during the day, and I don't get sick that way. So it is all the polyphenols that are in it that is best to be taken with food. Works better, absorbs better when you have something in your stomach. Basically, don't take it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. That's what I have learned. That's what's been my experience. Mm-hmm. So I mentioned in Canada here, when you get started with a welcome pack, you get the active. In the States, you get the collagen. Collagen is a whole nother story for me, but it is kind of known as our beauty blend, but you guys, it is so much more than beauty. I mean, it's really beautiful that I have a movement in my rotator cuff, whereas about a year ago, I could hardly lift my arm to comb my hair. And the collagen and our reset, which I'm not going to go into right now, that's our 3-day fast. The combination of those two, helping with my joints, helping to reduce inflammation, has made an incredible difference. And so very quickly, you know what? I started Plexus like 6 years ago just because I was tired. And I thought, if there is a such thing as not being tired all the time, and that thing that my friends keep talking about on social media, because I never commented on their posts, like never. But I just thought, if they keep talking about it, like maybe there's something to it. And if there's something to it, I really don't want to miss the boat. Like I really want to get in on that. But finances, how was I going to, work in $4 a day, $5 a day, whatever it was, to get myself started on Triplex? Because we've been in full-time missions for now 14 years now. But, I just really sensed you just need to get started. You just need to try, and don't feel like you need to have it all figured out right in the beginning. And for once, like, that was the best thing that I could have done. And I just got started, and I just decided to really give it a try. And I committed to consistency. And over the last 6 years, like, I saw there have been a few pivotal points in my journey. And I say this because maybe you are at month 2 or month 5, and maybe you're feeling like, but I don't have the story that Jody and Lucy and Theresa have. That's okay. I didn't have a big story then either. I would say month 8, month 18, month 8 and month 18 were very pivotal points of seeing change and growth in my journey, in consistency. Also, during some of those months was when I changed up my routine a little bit. I, kept reading. Oh, seeing what I'm dealing with, what I'm looking for. Oh, I see that if I would adjust things a little bit like this, I could maybe get that result, and I got that result. And then again, over this last year, I have been blown away at the changes that I have seen. And even in between that year and a half and that 5-year mark, I had some moments where, you know what, my health wasn't 100% all of the time. You guys, we're not going to have that until we get to heaven. Okay. Let's just face that. Um, and there were times that, I did feel more tired than before, but I just always stayed consistent, and also always looked at other ways that I could also improve my health. How was my sleep? I cannot stay up late every single night and just expect my supplements to work for me. Like, they work with the rest of our habits, and it's an additional tool to help us get the best out of the days that we have and the health that is available to us. So 6 years in, I will not go a day without my triplex and my X Factor Plus, especially. And there's way more that could be said, but reach out to the person that invited you here. If you have any questions, I just want to encourage you. We have something that can work for you. I have no doubt, because we have over like 20, 25 different products, many different combinations of products. And what I love with Plexus is that our products are all designed to work together. You can know that your products are going to work together, and you're not just doing a bunch of guessing at what's really going to help for gut health, what's really going to help for the inflammation. And when you can also really realize that so much of what we deal with, the root issue really is gut health and inflammation and hormones that are just out of whack. And so we're here, we're ready to help you. If you have any questions, reach out, ask us. If we don't have the answer, we have other resources, and that's the beauty of team, is that we have resources within each other. And very quickly, I know many of you are still working on getting your Lululemon gift card. When you invite 3 people to get started with you this month, you get, in the States, $150. In Canada, it's almost $200 gift card. I love Plexus's generosity in rewarding people for working and for sharing, and it is an incredible opportunity, an incredible business to be partnered with. I love how they take care of us, and they help us take care of other people. Thanks for being here. All right, you guys have a good afternoon. Thanks, Theresa. And I will share some of those videos with you that Theresa shares with me, because she had some really good tips. All right, goodbye.